Now at 6, authorities recover nearly 100 catalytic converters. They've arrested a suspect, and tonight we're learning more about that suspect's connection to another catalytic converter case. Plus,
in the state of Missouri, you don't have to wear a mask.
A confrontation between a bus driver and police officer is forcing a Missouri school district to clarify mask rules. And as COVID hospitalizations increase in places like Kansas City, we'll hear how hospitals here in our area are faring so far.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Catalytic converters are big targets for thieves, and now Joplin police have discovered a truckload of them. This is KOIM News at 6. Police recovered 98 catalytic converters while serving a search warrant on North Walnut in Joplin as part of an ongoing investigation into a rash of catalytic converter thefts around the area. These devices that reduce toxic emission from vehicles contain precious metals, and that can draw big bucks for scrap. Investigators estimate this haul is worth about $60,000. They've arrested the resident, Pamela Sims. And last report, the prosecutor had not yet filed formal charges in this case. This isn't Sims' first run-in with the law, though. Authorities charged Sims with receiving stolen property in September of 2020 after authorities recovered 24 catalytic converters from the same home. That case is not yet resolved. Doug Heddy told us it would rain today, and it rained today. Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it's been kind of dreary outside all day long. We've had the clouds, on and off showers or drizzle, depending on where you live. Our far northwestern counties, just a little bit of drizzle, and then showers as you get closer to the I-44 corridor, and even thunderstorms south of Interstate 44. But you can still see the bands of showers, even some thunderstorms, still stretching in our southeastern counties, and it's been somewhat heavy in our southern counties. I do think most of us are just going to stick around with drizzle as we go through the evening into the overnight hours, but showers and thunderstorms continue Newton, McDonald, Benton, Berry County, and back through Delaware County as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Just kind of bands of light showers all the way until about midnight, and then these will start to rotate out of here late tonight into the morning hours. Temperatures kind of hold near 50 for the evening hours. Eventually, we drop back into the upper 30s, turning quite a bit colder for the weekend. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you then. Missouri's treasurer is telling the state school districts his office will not refinance bond debt unless they promise not to require face masks. Scott Fitzpatrick's spokeswoman says the policy is in response to Republican Attorney General Eric Schmidt's pledge to sue schools and local health departments if they enforce COVID-19 health mandates. The treasurer's office program helps school districts get lower interest rates on bond debt. Districts risk higher rates if superintendents don't certify that they'll comply with Schmidt's demands. But a spokeswoman for St. Louis area nonprofit Education Plus says school boards, not superintendents, make decisions on coronavirus rules. A Missouri school district is reiterating that kids have to wear masks on buses after a police officer confronted a driver over the policy.
Okay, I'm going to report you, okay? You're going against the law, you know that, right?
Before this encounter, Attorney General Eric Schmidt had just told schools across the state that a court ruling against health departments also applied to schools and demanded that they drop their mask mandates. The next day, the Arnold, Missouri police officer confronted the driver. He said that the AG had issued an executive order disallowing mask rules. Not only can the Missouri Attorney General not issue any executive orders, like the officer said, federal regulations require masks on buses. And many school boards maintain they can still require masks as a matter of policy, separate from the court ruling against health departments.
While every police officer ought to know what the law is before they go about enforcing it, in some ways, I give the police officer a little bit of a pass because the Missouri Attorney General has been sowing the seeds of confusion with respect to what the law is about mask mandates and quarantines, about what local public health officials can do, about what counties and cities can order, and about what school districts can do.
The police chief in Arnold, Missouri confirms the man does work in his department. The chief says the officer has children who attend school in the Rockwood School District, but he does not patrol that area. A massive fire in Kansas burns nearly 400,000 acres in parts of 4 counties. Among those heavily impacted by those fires was a couple that breeds Clydesdale horses. Emily and Michael Reef had 13 horses, only 2 that are not Clydesdales. At least one Clydesdale named Gideon was killed. Several other horses were hurt, and the Reefs aren't sure yet if they'll all make it, but they're thankful to a supportive community that's come to their aid.
The sun came up today, shined. We had good friends and help around, and just feel blessed about that.
As of this morning, there were still 8 to 10 active fires burning in Ellis County, Kansas. Still ahead, your donations at work. We'll check in with one of our toy box distributors. And cinnamon rolls and chili might not be your cup of tea, but the combo is playing a role in providing scholarships for area Native American students. COVID hospitalizations are rising in hospitals all across the region. KOAM's Chris Warner joins us after speaking with 4 local hospitals about the trends they're seeing.
Of those 4 hospitals, we spoke with the Wilson County Medical Center, Ascension Via Christi in Pittsburgh, as well as Mercy and Freeman hospitals in Joplin. Now, while each say COVID hospitalization numbers are up following Thanksgiving, they say for now, the numbers are manageable.
We have seen a definite increase in our trends. To this point, it is manageable. And, we are preparing for what will come probably in the next 3 to 8 weeks after Christmas, New Year's.
Donna Stokes with Mercy Hospital is echoing what her colleagues across our area are seeing in terms of COVID hospitalizations. Janice Reese with the Wilson Medical Center in Neodesha says there's something else they're seeing that's leading to that increase in COVID numbers overall.
We're actually starting to see an increase in our testing. So I think naturally there's a possibility that we're going to see a continuation of an increase in COVID cases.
Reese says it's possible that increase in testing is a result of people playing it safe ahead of visits with loved ones over the holiday, or from those who already had that visit but now aren't feeling well. In Pittsburgh, Drew Talbot with Ascension Via Christi says they're a bit busier with COVID patients.
We're operating right now pretty close to capacity. It really depends on our ability to discharge those that are healthy enough to go home.
Talbot says they're closely monitoring the trends in the area. Dr. Rob McNabb with Freeman Health System in Joplin says another issue some are facing is not a lack of beds or supplies, but a lack of a more valuable asset.
What is more difficult to control is the attrition rate of your healthcare staff. As they retire, burn out, look for other opportunities. Being a healthcare worker in a pandemic is about as unfun a situation as you can have.
Dr. McNabb says right now they're okay on staffing for current caseloads, and they do feel comfortable should there be a surge of patients, but like the other hospitals, they're of course very closely monitoring those trends.
Chris Warner. Thanks, Chris. Your toy box donations are going out to some deserving families. Recipients dropped by the First Christian Church in Baxter Springs, Kansas today to pick up some of the toys that you contributed to the campaign. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office is one of our KOAM Toy Box partners, and they play a big role in getting these toys into folks' hands.
Residents who from time to time are struggling to make ends meet. They're going paycheck to paycheck, and sometimes there's a gap there. And unfortunately, sometimes that gap happens during the holidays. And so we're just in a unique position and a blessed position to be able to help fill that gap in a way by bringing the generosity of the community to those who need it during this time of year.
This is the 33rd year of the KOAM Toy Box campaign. A holiday fundraiser is helping provide scholarships for area Native American students. The All Tribes Education Consortium, or ATEC, sold chili and cinnamon rolls, holiday candies, and arts and crafts as part of the Winterlicious Market in Quapaw, Oklahoma. All of the money raised from the event is going to the organization's scholarship fund for Native American students.
ATEC stands for All Tribes Education Consortium. Okay. We've raised funds. We're a nonprofit. We solely depend on fundraisers and donations. We raise money for Native American students here in the area for college.
The group also sold raffle tickets for a festive topiary tree, but the main attraction was arguably the cinnamon rolls and chili. And that brings us to today's KOAM News Now Instant Poll question. How do you feel about pairing cinnamon rolls with chili? It's kind of a thing around some areas. Thumbs up or thumbs down? You can participate in the poll at koamnewsnow.com/vote or through the KOAM News app. Results are updated live. A little bit later, the Kansas City Chiefs looked a lot like the Kansas City Chiefs last night with that come-from-behind win. We're going to have post-game reaction in sports.
Plus, we still have some showers, even a few thunderstorms sticking around through the evening hours. But what about the weekend? We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it's turned out to be a dreary day for us today. Temperatures cold, and we've had the clouds and the showers and thunderstorms all day long. If you haven't been getting showers or thunderstorms, you've had the clouds and a little bit of drizzle, as majority of the rain has stayed in the southern half of the viewing area, really from Pittsburgh to Parsons south, and by far the heaviest along and south of Interstate 44, where they've actually picked up quite a bit of rain. But you can see the rain train continuing in our southern counties, picking back up again, northeastern Oklahoma. All this is moving northeast, and in general, where you see it right now, that's where it's mainly going to stay as we go through the next several hours. Now, once you get to Joplin north, we're just dealing with drizzle, but that means the roads are still wet, so you need to be careful, especially during the overnight hours. But you can see just nothing more than drizzle from Pittsburgh through Joplin, Miami, Carthage, and then you get rain starts to pick up near Neosho. Very heavy amounts of rain once you get on the south side of Grand Lake and then into northern parts of Benton County, McDonald County. Showers, thunderstorms over into Berry County, Cassville, Eagle Rock, and then stretching north, Aurora, and also Monette. So this is where the heaviest rain is. This is where the heaviest rain is going to stay over the next several hours. And really from this point south where you get the green, we're picking up 2 or 3 inches of rain. We've had some areas, Benton County, 4 or 5 inches of rain, and then about 1/4 of an inch along the I-44 corridor, and then just a trace once you get out across southeastern parts of Kansas. But again, a little bit of rain. Temperatures mainly sitting mid to upper 40s to lower 50s in our southern counties. Even though it's not raining hard, you can see the roads are wet. 7th and Range Line, a lot of traffic out there. Sitting at 50, we have calm winds, humidity is high at 93%. Through the rest of the evening hours, kind of a holding steady until after midnight. Once the clouds start to break up, then we'll drop back into the upper 30s a little bit later on tonight. Once we get rid of this system, out to the west, not a whole bunch going on. We got a weak system down through parts of Arizona. This is going to track mainly south of us, so not a huge deal. And we're just going to have the showers sticking around southern counties for the next several hours, and then we look fine for tomorrow. We are going to get a lot of clouds all day long. We'll get a little bit of sun peeking through, but just a lot of clouds most of the day, and our temperatures really struggling to warm up. I think most of us 41, maybe 42 degrees during the afternoon at best. 37 to start, 40 by noon, dropping back to 39 by the afternoon hours. We clear out tomorrow night, northerly winds, we drop all the way into lower 20s. So a cold night tomorrow night, and then heading into Sunday, we get southerly winds back, still kind of chilly. High temps mainly into the mid 40s during the afternoon. So it's going to be a cool weekend, but not a bad one. 42 tomorrow, 45 on Sunday, 51 on Monday. We do climb near 60 on Thursday. We do have a system with a little bit of rain. I was hoping that would be snow. That's right before Christmas. It's not going to be. So check out what Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are. We're going to be pushing record highs on Christmas. Very merry 70-degree.
No one is dreaming of a wet Christmas.
No, or usually into the 70s.
No, that either. Thanks anyway. Coming up in sports, Joplin Eagles aim to stay undefeated against Springfield Central, and we're going to hear from Missouri Southern head coach Ronnie Wessel on the Lions' tough loss yesterday.
The Joplin Eagles are a perfect 5-0 to start the season. They return to action tonight, hosting Springfield Central. Joplin won the Carthage Invitational their last time out, while Central is coming off an overtime loss to Carthage earlier this week. Tonight's game tips off at 7:30. We'll have the highlights right here at 10. The Missouri Southern Lions faced a big test on Thursday, hosting Central Missouri with a 6-game winning streak on the line. The Lions put up a fight but ultimately fell 68-64. Southern's largest lead of 7 points came with under 5 minutes to go, but Central Missouri outshot Missouri Southern 12-5 in the remaining time. The Jennies finished with 49 rebounds to Missouri Southern's 36.
They got some offensive boards. They got 16 points off their second chance points. This is a huge to, I think we ended up with 2, so that's a big difference there. But I thought our kids battled. They battled hard on the boards. It's going to be a tough one when we think about towards the end of the year. Ifs, ands, and buts. But, we can't do anything about it now. It's a loss against a very good team. We got to look at the film. I'll look at the film tonight, and then we got to bounce back tomorrow, be ready to practice. And we got Lincoln coming in on Saturday, who's a very athletic team that really crashed the offensive board. So we may have to work a little bit on rebounding tomorrow.
The Kansas City Chiefs won their 7th straight on Thursday, a huge AFC West victory over the Chargers. The Chiefs superstars showed up big in the win. Tyreek Hill had 12 receptions for 148 yards and a touchdown. And then there was Travis Kelce. Kelce has had just 6 receptions in the past 2 games, but on Thursday, he was a difference maker, a career-high 191 yards with 2 touchdowns, 1 to tie the game in the final 2 minutes of regulation, and the overtime game winner. His performance is earning him some praise, especially from his quarterback.
He's been a leader on this team. He's more happy for anyone other than himself. And when his number gets called, he goes out there and makes plays in big moments. And that's what special players do. And he's a special player, and I'm glad he's on my team. I don't think I've ever been a part of a walk-off touchdown or anything like that. To be in that moment, find him underneath, and him making such a dynamic play where, he cut back, ran by people. You would think he's old, so he can't run by people, but he's still running by people. And he got in the end zone. It was just a special moment, and I'm glad that all that hard work that he puts in every single day is paying off.
That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local Korean War veteran. Specialist Charles Ferris served in the U.S. Army. His hometown, Pittsburgh. And we are proud to salute Specialist Charles Ferris. He's tonight's 4-state hero. All right, I can't resist bringing this up. 24 hours ago, at the end of last night's 6 o'clock newscast, Doug and I, we made our predictions about last night's Chiefs game, and this is what we said.
59.
Chiefs, Chargers, tonight. What do you think?
I'm nervous. Exactly what Mitch said. A road game, just 4 days off, the COVID, so we got some players missing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to win.
Oh, let's just go with it. They're going to win.
Okay.
Chiefs will top 30. Chargers will not. That means the Chiefs win.
Okay.
We think. Okay. For the half dozen of you who haven't heard this already, I'll just recap briefly again. The end of regulation, tied at 28. In overtime, the Chiefs score a touchdown. They go above 30. Chargers below 30. Chiefs win. I don't just think that. I am now certain of that. I wish I was as confident 24 hours ago, but only one of us on this set is actual professional forecaster, and the amateurs once in a while get it right as well.
I did say I think they were going to win.
That's true. That's true.
I'll pat you on the back this time.
If I hadn't gotten it right, you think we would have shown that tape?
No. That's
we would
kind of
not.
funny.
The weather.
All right, weather-wise, we're still going to have the showers and thunderstorms in our southern counties for the next few hours, and then a lot of clouds tomorrow. Cold and windy. High of only 42.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon service is provided by